Welcome to Tone Up Tuesdays. Today we are focusing on upper body. We're going to be down on the ground if you want to do some warm-up, pelvic tilts, things of that variety. To get more of a total body effect, that's great. Today I wanted to go over some basic upper body tips. There's a lot of misconceptions. If you do not do upper body exercises regularly on the ground now, you're doing it in an environment that makes it more challenging. So the technique doesn't tend to be there when you add a stimulus like whole body vibration to those basic exercises you do on the floor or at the gym now. So today I'm going to kind of convert a few of those, throw it into a bit of a short routine. If you are targeting upper body, you like to work out in different body parts versus a head to toe effect, short on time. This is something that could be added on to an existing routine. But there's a couple of tips throughout here that I want to discuss with you today. How to maximize the effects of your upper body workout while minimizing some of the things that just come with this technology, the shaky head, the neck, the shoulders. This is one of those categories, depending on whether you're a man or a woman. As women, we tend to carry our strength more in the quads and the glutes, whereas with our male counterparts, it's more upper body and trunk where the strength lies. So boys tend to be better at upper body exercises than us. As women, we also carry tension, stress, our purse, our bra. So we tend to be more tense in those areas that we're trying to exercise. And when we add a stimulus like whole body vibration, on certain settings, our body will guard and protect and resist. I'm going through this now because it's going to be a little harder to understand me while I'm doing these positions on camera. But the biggest thing you don't want to do on your vibration machine is resist or fight the vibration. If you're finding it's too intense, there's too much amplitude or displacement, we're going to go through some suggestions. But the biggest tip I can give you if you're starting out upper body for the first time on a vibration platform is take some body weight out of the equation. You do not have to do the first push-up you've ever done on your toes in a decade on a vibration machine. In fact, I advise against it. So to start out today, we're in the routine outline I've posted in the comments. I want you on your hands and your knees. So kind of like you're doing a cat-cow from yoga, except we're adding our upper body to the vibration machine. If you want to get a little bit more body weight into it, you're a little more conditioned, you may want to get yourself up on a mat, or if you do have the ability, we are going to talk about incorporating more body weight. But for the purposes of the warm-up, if you're working on a pivotal style platform, I want you to frequency range just the low end, the warm-up speeds, 12 to 16 hertz. If you're working on a vertical style platform, I want you on 30 to 35 with a lower amplitude or intensity setting if you have that option. The goal here is just to get some movement to the upper body, and I'm just on my knees in front of the machine, and just by adding my hands, you'll see that I'm starting to get a little bit of movement throughout the arms here. As you incorporate more and more of your body into it, one of the big tips when you're doing an upper body exercise, on the floor typically you would be looking at your hands, and if your head is directly above your hands, you're going to get the most head vibration. If it's too much action, you've got bad shoulders, you're prone to migraines, on a pivotal style, bring your hands closer to the center. Reduce the amount of displacement or distance between your hands to reduce the shake. On your vertical style, make sure that your setting is on low if you have that option. Now, push your body forward. Gonna get a bit more strength going here so that the shoulders are more in line with the hands versus the head. And you'll notice just by transitioning your body weight, unbending at the hips, you're gonna feel 70 to 80% of that vibration is gonna go into the neck, the shoulders, and the chest. If you are more conditioned, and this is easy, you can either widen up your hands for more intensity or go to the toes. If you do want to add dynamic movement, very controlled, I don't want to see your back dipping, I want a nice straight spine, lower to the surface, however you like to do your push-ups. Keep those elbows slightly bent. One little area I want to target in particular with my ladies is that bat wing, the weakest muscle on the female body. That's your stabilizing muscle, whereas the bicep tends to be more of the power. So before we get into strength and toning, we're going to take this same exercise. On your vertical style platform, I want you bringing it up to 35 to 40 hertz if you have that option. On your pivotal, bring it up to above 18. Start with your hands closer to the center, lower intensity on the vertical. And again, make sure we're in line. Push those shoulders in line with the hands. And you'll feel on the higher frequency, and even hearing my voice, it's not as rattly and as choppy. It's much more tonic. But if you're putting any effort at all into it, the fatigue will set in much faster as we have more contractions, more muscle fiber being recruited on those higher frequencies. A little tip to target this, and we are going to move on to a tricep dip here shortly. But if you do not have the ability to do a tricep dip, you've never done one in your life, I don't recommend it on a vibration platform until you get some additional strength and technique under your belt. It's just too rattly and it's too hard to keep a good position. So to target the triceps from this position, that basic modified push-up, take your elbows and draw them in against your ribs. And you'll notice all the body weight is now shifted to the tricep, okay? And we can lift up, more intense. Just hold a good position, go a little lower if you like, okay? But you'll feel that fire up fairly quickly. The next position we're going to move to is everything is still in this basic starting position. I try to keep things easy and flow well. We're going to go into a shoulder press, downward dog, looks a little like that. The key is to get your hips higher than your shoulders. You're going to get the neck muscles. If you do not do push-ups on the ground now, this isn't the first one I'd play with, but for your advanced users, keep that frequency up there. Bring those hands a little bit closer. You're going to stand up on your feet and shift that weight. So again, the shoulders are in line with the hands. Come a little closer if you're more flexible. If you were up on a step or a block, you'd be getting more body weight in here again. If you want to hit the triceps, pull them inward. This one's pretty hard. I suggest quitting just prior to fatigue. I don't want any face plants on the platform today. So you guys can hear me a little better. I'm going to bring the settings back down here to about 12 to 13 hertz. For your purposes and for my outline in the comments, we're going to keep that frequency at about the 18 to 22 hertz range. I'm going to get me a block. If you are not good at doing tricep dips, if you have shoulder issues, anything shoulders or weakness in this area, I suggest getting your butt level with the machine. You can sit on a step, a little stool you might have around the house, a couple pillows, and just sort of get used to how this feels. Now the key, you kind of want to bring the shoulders together a little bit if you can, reducing the distance between your hands. So try and get your hands as close as you can. Elbows are slightly bent. And just leaning forward here, I can feel it up through the neck and the shoulders. By leaning into the machine, lifting my bum, now that upper body is holding me up off the machine. For my more advanced users, starting on the floor. You want to keep your bum nice and tight. I don't want you out here wrenching your shoulders. Start with your feet close. The longer your body becomes, the heavier you become, and the more gravity's pressing down on us. So what I don't want to see is like collapsed shoulders, you're falling over. You want to keep a good structure, and the minute those arms start fatiguing, just come down and take a breather, okay? Those are some very basic tips to get the upper body action started. I'm not a big fan of the last position, the tricep dips. I do have a bad shoulder. I tend to just focus more in my push-ups with some of those tips I showed you today. But the big key with upper body, if you are not doing it on the ground now, start simple, take the body weight out of the equation, keep that line of sight off the hands, pushing slightly forward, which is more challenging, or back, which is a little bit more therapeutic. Any of the positions that you're doing on the floor and that look like a push-up, these same lessons apply. Reduce the distance between your hands on your lineal platform or your pivotal platforms. Reduce your intensity on the lineal and just get a good position, good strong hold. Once you're lasting about 30 seconds to a minute, then maybe bring some of those intensities and frequencies up. Keep those fatigue times short, 30 seconds to a minute. And something like this could be done daily, every other day, or in complement to something that you're already doing. Any questions or challenges? Today was a little bit more mid to advanced, just being on the ground. We will cover some more standing positions on how to work upper body effectively. Thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you guys again soon. Have a great Tuesday.